Imagine a hospital where patients wait less, a bank that stops fraud before it even happens, and a factory where problems that once took weeks are solved in seconds. This isn't science fiction. AI is quietly transforming industries from finance to healthcare to food production. Some of the biggest breakthroughs are happening behind the scenes in specialized enterprise AI platforms. Everyone talks about ChatGPT, but there's another revolution going on as well. And one of the companies leading this change is Palantir. Let's get started. First, let's have a look at the future potential. AI adoption in enterprises has hit an inflection point. According to McKinsey, over 50% of companies globally have already embedded AI into at least one core business function. But here's the catch. Another report shows that only around 5% of companies are actually realizing measurable value from using AI. Think about that. Half the corporate world is experimenting with AI, but only a very tiny fraction can extract real value. That gap between adoption and impact is huge. It is proof that AI isn't just about plugging in some software and waiting for miracles to happen. You need platforms and processes that turn the raw data into real, measurable outcomes. That is what makes enterprise AI platforms like Palantir so valuable. Their case studies aren't just experiments, they are real-world implementations. They are delivering measurable, repeatable impact across some of the most complex industries in the world. Palantir is one of the very few pure AI plays that is listed on the stock market. They create huge efficiencies by streamlining operations and solving bottlenecks. Their enterprise business is booming. They are onboarding clients at breakneck speed. They have closed around 5 times more US commercial deals over $5 million than a year ago. And the US commercial revenue is expected to increase by at least 85% year over year. The company publishes case studies in its reports. This gives a rare window into what enterprise AI actually does on the ground. Before we dive into the industry examples, let's step back a bit. AI in enterprises is becoming essential. Each industry has its own bottlenecks, and the companies that can solve them first will gain a huge advantage. Late adopters could be left behind and made irrelevant. This is why Palantir is so important. Their clients aren't experimenting. They are building AI into their core workflows. Every case study illustrates how bottlenecks are removed, efficiency is lifted, and competitive advantage is created. In finance, speed is everything. Fannie Mae, the US mortgage giant, used Palantir's software to reduce fraud detection times. But not from weeks, not from days, from months to seconds. This is helping to safeguard the US mortgage market for lenders, home buyers, and taxpayers as well. Meanwhile, Citi is applying AI in its wealth management division. The goal? Agility and better client experience. Think about personalized insights, faster decision making, and systems that can adapt instantly to market changes. In an industry where every millisecond matters, that kind of agility isn't just a nice to have, it is a competitive mode. But this raises an even bigger point. Some of the analysts argue that the largest efficiency gains from AI could come from the banking industry. Think about institutions like Morgan Stanley or JP Morgan. These are massive organizations with huge operations. They have legacy systems and compliance burdens that cost billions every year. If AI helps them to streamline everything from operations to product distribution, the value created could be enormous. In fact, some argue that these two banks could see their valuations detached from traditional banking multiples, and they might will trade closer to tech-like valuations in the future. Just imagine Wall Street banks being valued as software companies. The potential is there because their margins, scalability, and productivity could begin to get closer to tech companies rather than traditional finance. Now, let's move on to healthcare, where the stakes are literally life and death. Nebraska Medicine increased their discharge lounge utilization rates by over 2,000% using Palantir's AI software. That means more patients can leave the hospital faster, freeing up beds for those who need them most. Then you have Cleveland Clinic. They've cut the time it takes to calculate bed capacity by 75%. They have also reduced the wait times in the ER by 38 minutes, which can make all the difference. And in Tampa, one hospital reduced patient stays by 30%. Just imagine the cost savings, the improved patient outcomes, and the efficiency gains. The insurance industry is notoriously conservative. But even here, AI is shaking things up. AIG is one of the largest insurers. They expect their underwriting to double revenue CAGR from 10% to 20% as they have embedded AI into their workflows. In other words, they believe AI isn't just about saving money. It is about making more money by scaling smarter. Next up is manufacturing. Associated Materials, which makes exterior building products, rolled out over 10 AI use cases within just 9 months. As a result, their on-time, in-full delivery rate increased from 40% up to 90%. That is a game changer, both for customer satisfaction and profitability as well. Then there is Trinity Rail. They have built an inventory workflow in just 3 months. This generated them $30 million in savings and, as a result, improved their operating margins. That is not incremental. That is transformative. But maybe the most surprising example comes from the food industry. Land O'Frost, the largest privately held sliced deli meat brand in the US, used Palantir to overhaul its production planning. A process that used to take 40 hours now takes just 30 minutes. Think about that. What once required an entire work week is now done in less time than a lunch break. This is unglamorous, but just shows you the level of efficiency gains companies can achieve utilizing AI the right way. AI is not an option anymore for any company. It became essential. If you are running a business without it, you are going to be left behind. Your rivals can make decisions faster, cheaper, and more accurately than you ever could using human processes alone. Palantir is just one company at the forefront of this shift. There are many others like Snowflake, C3 AI, and also industry-specific startups. But what makes Palantir fascinating is the diversity of its use cases and the scale of its impact. From deli meats to railroads to Wall Street, Palantir's AI is everywhere, often invisible but deeply embedded. The next time you hear about AI, don't just think of chatbots. Don't just think of image generators. The real transformation is happening inside the banks, the hospitals, insurers, and even manufacturers. It is quietly reshaping trillion-dollar industries. And the companies moving fastest with enterprise AI, they are the ones most likely to define the next chapter of business. Thanks for watching, and please give it a like, subscribe, and watch another video. See you in the next one. Thank you. Bye.